Hello, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. A judge has denied the SEC's motion for a stay pending appeal. Is this a good sign for Ripple? Well, I think so. I'll read exactly what was said, and I think it's not necessarily just the fact that it was denied, because, Ripple have had wins in their lawsuit, right, where they've had a few things where Ripple have won the argument and SEC have lost some of their motions. But it's not just what was said, it's the way it's said, it's the words that were used. And I think what it's showing is that these lawyers, well, no, sorry, not these lawyers, these judges, they're seeing past the SEC's transparent attempts to bend the law to suit their narrative. It's really starting to become obvious, and I think the judges are getting a bit tired of it, and so they're making it quite clear at this point. And so this makes me think that this is a good thing for Ripple, because I've noticed that Ripple have had similar outcomes with some of their decisions. The judges have had to kind of put the SEC in their place. And this makes me think, if other judges are being like this, I don't see why our judge won't be the same. Annalisa Torres and Judge Netburn. So let's just quickly read this. This is in regards to a different lawsuit, right? Just to make you aware, this isn't specifically the Ripple lawsuit, but it does tie into it because of, obviously, as I say, the decisions and the outcomes of the way the judges are looking at this. So this is in regards to the Voyager bankruptcy case. So it says, where the government, in brackets during the confirmation hearing, has not actually contended that any of these activities would be illegal. I cited some decisions on this point when I announced my original decision in open court, and when I issued my final decision, I cited additional Second Circuit and other authorities that are directly on point. The debtors have cited many additional authorities in the memorandum they filed today. See debtors' memorandum at 14 to 17. The government contends that it will likely win on appeal, but in making its arguments, the government has not even discussed any of the authorities that I cited or the actual theory on which I relied. Instead, the government's papers exaggerate and in some places mischaracterize what I have done and the authorities on which I have relied, and in other instances rely on hyperbole or on, quote, straw man, unquote, arguments. So, as you can see, right at the end, a little bit feisty there, right? Like, it's not so kind at the end, it gets a bit blunt. And I love to see, and the reason why I say this is because, one of my worries with the whole Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is just the fact that, like, they're going against the government. And, I've watched many people who talk about, about lawsuits and stuff like that. And when you're going against the government, judges there are some judges who tend to be a bit more favorable in line with the government because it's the government, right? Like, they look at the government as, the unsung heroes, fighting a good fight kind of thing, They don't really look at them as the potentially shady and corrupt people that they really can be and what's been shown. So when I see the judges making these kind of decisions and saying it with the conviction that they're saying and blatantly calling them out on their BS, basically, it just gives me a bit more confidence that there are judges out there with integrity. And I have seen similar actions in the case with Ripple, and that's where I think this ties in, is because it does seem that there are judges out there who are going to try and call this down the middle. They're not going to just go alongside with the government because they are the government. They are going to say what is right in terms of the law. They're not going to just say what they think sounds good. So yeah, I really do think this is a good sign. And as I say, I know this is a different case, but as I say, I've seen similar replies with the Ripple versus SEC case as well. So it just makes me think, the people of integrity Yeah, they're not just going to bend just because it's the government. And that's where I'm starting to feel comfortable. Well, I'm not going to say comfortable, because comfortable might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm starting to feel a bit more confident. I'm starting to feel a bit more confident that this should go the way that we expect it to. Because, you know, from what we've seen from this lawsuit so far, you would think that Ripple ultimately are going to win this, because, you know, overall, they really have had the majority of wins. It really has more gone in Ripple's favor. And when you just listen to some of the SEC's arguments, they've just been absolutely ridiculous, just outright absurd. So, you know, when we can see these kind of things, I mean, I'll put it this way, I'm not no law expert and don't pretend to be, but even from what I've seen, I can just see the hypocrisy in what they're saying and how blatantly corrupt they're being, and how they just try and switch things to suit their narrative. And, you know, they've made themselves look pretty stupid within this lawsuit. So, you know, it does fill me with a bit more confidence in this kind of thing, that if we've got the judge that we believe that we've got, and I think we have, I think they're going to go on the right side of the law and not just with the government. So just a quick one there to see you guys, a quick update in regards to how the SEC are getting on in general, not just the Ripple lawsuit. But yeah, this is positive. This is positive, and hopefully this is positive for Ripple and for XRP. But what do you guys think? Have you seen this? Do you think this doesn't really have any relevance to the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit? Do you think this is the thing that we need to see? Does it give you a bit more confidence that we could get the win that we're hoping for? Drop me a comment and let me know, guys. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until the next one, take care.